Joining us now, the SABC correspondent in Hong Kong, Laura Westbrook, to find out how things are going in the Far East. Laura, good to have you with us this morning. So talk to us about the SA expat vote in Hong Kong. Has it started? I imagine with a time difference, that's the first to kick off, or one of the first to kick off.
Yes, here in Hong Kong we have around 750 registered voters. Voting will open on Saturday from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. And I've been speaking to some voters ahead of the voting opening here and to find out what are some of the issues that they're concerned about. I spoke to one voter and she told me that while some of the issues that face South Africans back home, high unemployment, rising living costs, as well as blackouts, she said those issues aren't facing South Africans in Hong Kong, but they are obviously concerned about them. She said for her, the issues like she really cares about is issues to do with the passport and accessing better visas with other countries, as well as long waiting times to renew passports here. When it comes to who she would be voting for, she said that like her, some young voters were a bit disenfranchised with the ruling ANC party. She also said that when it comes to the Democratic Alliance, the leader of that party, she said, she expressed a bit of disappointment that they had chosen someone who was white and also old. So, there are some of that. That's a bit of a flavour of some of the issues here. But in Hong Kong, the consulate is based in the centre of the city, so it is quite easily accessible. And she said for voters in other countries, for example in Australia, where the voting is in Canberra, but many South Africans live in Perth or Sydney, they might face a bit more of a challenge in actually getting to vote.
In terms of numbers expected, what are we dealing with in that particular voting station?
Well, there are 750 registered voters here. Some of the voters that I'm speaking to have said that they will be going there in the morning tomorrow, and but they have also said that some voters are feeling a little bit disenfranchised with the issues that are going on in South Africa. So some are choosing not to vote as well.
It's very interesting to see what it is that you have outlined some of the reasons that some are saying they don't want to go out there. But in terms of interest, though, in SA elections, when people are away and they're not living in a country, is there much of an interest, or is it sort of like maybe it's just something they'll be doing because they perhaps still have family here, or as you mentioned earlier, it's a passport issue, and whichever party speaks to their feeling in terms of, okay, I can travel more, let's vote for the party that looks after my passport more than anyone else.
Yes, everyone in South Africans who live in Hong Kong have family back home, and they will be watching it quite closely. Hong Kong is also a financial centre, and investors are going to also be watching this election very closely, because whoever gets in power will be setting economic as well as fiscal policy for the next 5 years. So investors here will also be watching to see who will win the votes. Obviously, the ANC party is facing a looming threat from other parties, and whether they will have to form a coalition, and whether that will make them move more in the direction of the left or the direction of the more business-friendly Democratic Alliance Party. South Africa is the largest trading partner of Hong Kong in the continent. Hong Kong traded last year about $19 billion of goods with South Africa, with about 6% of that actually going from South Africa to China. So Hong Kong is also looking to boost its relations with South Africa, in particular in trying to get more trade flowing through Hong Kong to China as well.
Right, Laura, let's leave it there. Thanks so much. Laura talking to us ahead of those living in Hong Kong going to vote, but that'll be, as Laura was telling us, from tomorrow. But also quite interesting to see age being brought up as an issue in these elections, but particularly highlighting John Steenhuisen's age. Well, I had a quick look. He's 48 years old, so I wonder if that is classified as old. Don't know. Anyway, let's leave it there. I suppose everybody having their own views during these elections, and they are entitled to that.